Yeah, you could tell right away. I mean, his fastball velocity was up. Command of the slider in the first inning. He had another breaking ball going with a hard cutter as well to give it a little bit of a different look. And just his tempo, his presence, the way he attacked the strike zone. When we've seen him really good, that's the way it looks. And it was every bit of that today. He really stepped up on a big day in a big spot against a really good offense.
Going to do for the dugout and everybody, I guess, when he's dealing like that right out of the gates.
Yeah, I mean, so much of the tone is set in baseball by your starting pitcher and how he comes out. And again, it doesn't have to be a perfect outing. It doesn't have to be a perfectly clean first inning, but they tend to set the tone for how the game's going to go just with their body language, their presence, and all those things. And again, Shea was absolutely dirty, filthy, whatever adjective you want to use. His stuff was that, but his attitude was very competitive, and he was very determined.
Evan Lynn.
Well, what's the key with Shea? I mean, he's had some really good outings like today. He's had some shorter ones. What's the key in him being that consistent Sunday guy for you guys moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, he still has a little bit of a learning curve as a starting pitcher. This is the first time he's done it at the college level. So it just comes down to the consistency in the 6 days in between when he throws the ball to give himself every opportunity to feel like he has the chance to go be that competitive guy that we saw today, where he's not thinking about anything else other than competing pitch to pitch. And that's exactly what we saw from him today. Just from the first pitch on, wasn't concerned about anything else other than just here's my best stuff. I'm going to execute pitches at a high level. I'm going to do it on the next pitch and then the next pitch. And you look up and he's got a great outing.
And then obviously got to ask you about the seventh inning there. What did you see with those hit by pitches and kind of how did that play out from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I just saw something that I thought that we needed to have our guys back for. That's all I'll say.
When you have a moment like that in a game and you guys go on to win the way that you do, is there an extra kind of emotional burst or added value that comes from winning a game that's maybe a little more charged than a typical one?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that our guys we've got a lot of veterans. I've got a great coaching staff. I mean, the way that game finished off, I mean, obviously Bunsey came in and did a really nice job of getting the hold there, getting out of the jam, and our offense took over. I mean, we were putting pressure on them innings 1 through 9, got deep into their bullpen, and were able to just finish the thing off. So there's not really a whole lot that needs to be done to give this group an extra shot of life. I mean, they're ready to compete every inning.
Michael Bruce.
Well, you guys have been really good in these rubber matches, I guess, and the season. I mean, do you lean more heavily on some of your veteran guys, early in the day, or I guess what is it about this team that guys just come to the park ready to go on Sunday, or at least seems that way?
Well, I think it's a culmination of being ready to go every day. I don't think that there's any. I know we talk about Championship Sunday, and there's things that are thrown out there like, hey, this is a big series. We need to finish this thing off the right way. But there's never really a question in my mind whether this team shows up on every day. So that's ultimately what you want to have with a team is that because when you get in those so-called big moments to go win a series, you're not doing anything any different than you always do. And that is a sign of a very good team because you don't get your emotions too high or too low. You're just constantly there all the time. And it starts with Tuesday practices. How do you come out that day? How do you come on Wednesday when we have an 8-hour bus ride on Thursday and we go practice at somebody else's field? How do you come out? I mean, we just don't take a day off. So when you get to Sunday, in these so-called big moments, you're not doing anything any different than you always do. And it's easier said than done. Not every team has the ability to do it. Again, I'll continue to point to the upperclassmen leadership on this team. They bring a certain mentality to the yard every day, and it lets us coaches focus on baseball.
You mentioned him before. What's Jake Buns kind of shown you in his last few outings? It seems like he's really kind of elevated things, I guess, coming off of the injury and all the other stuff before he got here.
Yeah, what we've seen out of the bullpen is the sharper breaking ball. I don't necessarily think we saw that sharp breaking ball when he was starting for us. But the extra adrenaline and just the big moments right there, I think that you're starting to see that breaking ball come back, and maybe he's just trusting it more now. He's got more outings off of the injury. But that's what we've seen. I mean, he's very competitive. He's very dialed in. He wants the spot. He wants that moment. And it's been, good to see him. And we've used him twice on the weekend now, a couple of weeks in a row, and he's answered the bell.
Evan Land.
14 hits for the offense today. Well, what was the challenge, or I guess what kind of pitcher was Maryland's starter, and then what allowed you guys to square up as many balls as you did today?
Yeah, a lot of it goes back to kind of the inner dialogue with our team in the dugout as the game goes along. Just the feedback we're getting from the hitters. Guys aren't just going internal once they make an out, or just they're kind of giving some feedback to the hitters, to me, to Coach Arvell, just what they see. Then we can kind of formulate what we need to do based on that a little bit. But ultimately, again, it just, for our team and for what we do offensively, we've just got to stick to what we do best, and regardless of who we're facing. But early in the game, I thought that their starter had a little bit of a sink and some run to his fastball, and I thought we did a nice job of. I mean, really, where the big innings come from for us, it's funny. A lot of people say, well, if you bunt, you eliminate the chance for a big inning. Well, we get the leadoff hitter on and we bunt him over, we hit and run. A lot of times that's where the dominoes just start to fall for our offense. As we get guy in scoring position, guy has a great approach, next guy steps up. We start putting the pressure on him, with the base running. So, it's just a selfless brand of baseball. I'll say it again.